Hey everybody, it's Dave Ward and I am back with the Playbook. This is, of course, our 10 rules for success with Team Beachbody. It's really the 10 things that have become second nature to me, a part of my life. Stuff that I have over the years learned, practiced, succeeded with, and now am teaching to other people. And I want to talk about two of them today, but really I'm going to narrow in on one of them. And those are number 4, which is push play, drink Shakeology, and number 5, which is share your story. And I say that because I'm going to do a deeper dive on share your story, but I think what you're going to see here today is that what I'm doing is I'm sharing my story with you, okay? So let's go back in time to 1996. At that point, I was a spry 24-year-old male going to San Diego State University, and I was really lucky that my cousin was the college basketball coach for San Diego State. And his son was going to San Diego State as well and became friends with mine. And we were going to try out for the practice squad. It was actually kind of a baller back then. And I love playing basketball. I was a total gym rat in high school. I played one sport, and it was basketball. My friends were playing football. I was shooting free throws and shooting threes and waiting for them to get out of practice. Looking for people to play one-on-one with when they were playing soccer or running cross country or playing baseball. I was in the gym shooting hoops, and it fed like right into my little competitive nature. And so I was gonna try out for the San Diego State practice squad. I was nowhere near good enough or big enough. I'm like 5'9" to be on a Division I college basketball team. But my cousin seemed to think we could qualify for the practice squad, which just would have been fun, right? It would have been just an opportunity to play some organized basketball, work with a coach, and I hated pickup ball. I don't play anymore, but I really hated pickup ball. Anyway, so I was practicing for that and getting ready and working out a couple times a day, playing basketball every day. And one night we were playing basketball at this church, and I decided to stay. He left. I decided to stay for one more game, and I blew my knee out. Somebody got up underneath me on a fast break. As soon as I hit the ground, I heard the pop, and it was like I knew right away. I'd torn my ankle up, and so I knew like what that was all about. And I knew right away I was really hurt. And I remember the next day we had like this kind of Roman bathtub in the house that I lived in at the time. So I went and took a bath, and the next day I woke up. I think I was like out of the bath, and it had just ballooned up. The next day I woke up, and it was black and blue. I mean, it looked like somebody had just been beating me with a stick, you know? And I knew it was bad. I went through, had to have the surgery. It was a long rehab process. I actually did several months, almost 6 months of rehab. Then I had the surgery. Then I had to go back and do the rehab. The second time around, I really wasn't very enthusiastic about it. And if we fast forward almost 10 years to 2003, I was like a little old man. I had just gotten to the point where my knee had atrophied. You know, by then I'd finished at San Diego State. I'd gone off to law school. I've been practicing law for a couple of years. And it just got worse and worse and worse. I was just rapidly becoming an old man. And Monica was up in the middle of the night feeding our fairly new son, Nick, and saw the infomercial for Power 90. She was using the TV for light so that she wouldn't wake me up because I had to go to work the next day. And she saw the infomercial for Power 90, picked up the phone and ordered it. Back then, you know, I tell people I was practicing law and they think, oh, you're making zillions of dollars. No, not really. You know, new lawyer out of a school called Willamette in Salem, Oregon that no one's heard of. If you've heard of it, shoot me a message and let me know that you know what Willamette, and it's not Willamette. The telemarketers sometimes call me and we're offering specials to Willamette students. We can laugh about that if you know what I'm talking about. I went to work for a really small law firm. I was making about $55,000 a year and kind of going, wow, this isn't really what I was in for. And so $60, which is what Power 90 cost back then, was a big deal. And so Monica ordered Power 90 off the infomercial. And when it came, I was like, okay, what's this? And she's like, well, it's this thing. I spent $60 on it. And I said, okay, well, we start when? Tomorrow? Great, perfect. And so I was like, okay, if we're going to spend the money on it, I got some skin in the game, we're going to do this program. And we decided to dig in and do it just every night. And we started to do the program, and I noticed right away, pretty good with the push-up bit. pretty good with the shoulder bit, the tricep thing, okay. Squats, lunges, if you know that program, Power 90 is super, super basic. And basically you do a strength training day, a cardio day, a strength training day, a cardio day. And there's really only 2 workouts. And there's a little bit harder version of the same workout and a little bit easier version of the same workout. But the strength training workout and it basically looks like a chest exercise, a back exercise, a shoulder exercise, a bicep exercise, a tricep exercise, some legs, and then there's an ab routine at the end. And so you just kind of do this little circuit. I struggled so much with all of the lunges and all of the squats because my knee was so bad and it was still like really, really painful. I really quit playing basketball because my knee just couldn't handle it. I mean, it was horrible. But I struggled through it and I made it through Power 90, and then Slim and 6 was the next program. Slim and 6 was a ton of squats, and a ton of lunges. For those of you who've done that program with Debbie Siebers, there's like those one-legged speed squats. Whoa! Ow! Okay, that was really tough for me. And then P90X came out. My heart, right? The monster. The big one. That came out, and I was like, yes, let's do it. Actually have one of the first 500 P90Xs ever created, signed by Tony Horton. It's an absolute disaster. It's in like a little notebook thing that they don't make anymore. It's like falling apart. It's a total nightmare because I've done the program so many times. And started doing P90X and was like, I can't do this. Can't do this. My knee still is not in a position where I can do this. So I had to modify. Couldn't do plyometrics. If you've done P90X, Plyo-X is the mother. And I couldn't do it. This just wasn't happening. So I did Cardio X instead. I couldn't do most of legs and back. The like one-legged wall squats were not happening for me in the beginning. I had to modify. And they give you all the modifications. I modified the modifier basically until I got stronger. And pretty soon I started to get stronger. And I started to be the point where I wasn't doing Cardio X anymore. I was doing Plyo. I was doing one-legged wall squats. Maybe I couldn't do them for the whole 30 seconds, or minute, whatever it was, but I could do them. And I just got stronger and stronger. And what I noticed was my knee didn't hurt anymore. My knee didn't hurt anymore because what was wrong with my knee was atrophy. All I needed to do was strengthen the muscles around my knee. Now, if you follow me today, I'm a big skier and a snowboarder and a surfer, super, super active guy, stuff I could never do without a good knee. If you've been following me for a long time, I was also a triathlete for a while and a cyclist. I mean, triathlon, cycling, I never could have opened my mind up to that world without this. Just no way. I wouldn't be able to ski. I just got back from a heli skiing trip where we skied 100,000 vertical feet in a week. And I wouldn't be able to do that without this. This program, P90X, Tony Horton, and then all the other programs that have come after it, you see some of them on that surfboard back there, changed my life. They changed my life, and they opened up this whole new, unique universe for me that I thought I'd really closed off. After I had the knee surgery, and then maybe like 5 or 6 years after, as my knee got worse and worse and worse, I used to wear a knee brace to play golf. Golf! I was like an old man in my early 30s. And I just kind of resigned myself to that. Great, I'm just gonna be old. That's not who I am. That's not my spirit. That's not my heart. I'm active. I remember when I was gonna have the surgery, I asked the physical therapist, do you think I need the surgery? And he said, do you wanna run and jump in your life? And I said, yeah, I'm thinking that's gonna be pretty important to me. And he's like, then you need the surgery. And as it turns out, that's super important to me. That's my why. That's why I work out. It's not to walk down the beach with my abs glistening in the sun or whatever. It's so I can continue to do these things that I love to do. Right now it's skiing and surfing and snowboarding, but I don't know what's next. I don't want to be limited by it. That's my why. That's why I work out. So let's talk about the game plan. Rule number 4, push play, drink Shakeology. Why? So you can build a story. You have to become a rabid fan of our programs and our products. I've got a similar story about Shakeology. Has to do with triathlon, actually. I got to a point with triathlon where I just couldn't push any harder. I couldn't push my body any harder because it wasn't receiving the nutrients it needed. And I would bump. Like if you're a triathlete, you know what I'm talking about. It's like a point where you just go, like you may have felt tired before. This is like you're on your bike and you know, like I got to pull over or I'm going to maybe pass out and fall off my bike, which would be very bad. That was happening to me. And it was because I wasn't getting the nutrient. I was pushing my body so hard and I just wasn't giving it the nutrients that it needed. That's right about the time that Shakeology came out in March of 2009. I started taking Shakeology and all that went away. I used to get sick all the time. Like crazy sick. You're watching some of these other videos, you've heard me say this, but you've seen a meme about me. Like, and it's the meme about like mom's sick and she's vacuuming and cooking dinner and doing all this stuff. Dad's sick and he's like in bed in like a, death cave. That was me. Like I used to get so sick that I'd just be in bed for days. Started taking Shakeology. Do I still get sick? Every now and then. It goes away real quick. Why? Because I put this thing in my body that it's like a suit of armor for me. Now, push, play, drink Shakeology. Why? Because you need to become a rabid fan. You need to build a story around something. Does it have to be P90X? No, of course not. This is my story. Hopefully you didn't tear your knee up. Because I'll tell you right now, that sucked. That really sucked. But you've got a story. I don't know what it's about. In another video, in the next video in the series, I'm going to talk to you about how to share your story and how to structure it so that it makes sense. But for right now, the important thing is you just understand that this business is about push and play and drinking Shakeology. Shakeology is really our flagship product, right? If you're new to this business, this is where it's at. There are people who are building a business around the performance line too, which I'm a huge fan of. And again, like if any of this triathlon stuff is like, you're like, I know exactly what you're talking about. For endurance sports and bodybuilders and people like that, the performance line can take the place of Shakeology, okay? But I'm gonna talk about Shakeology here because Shakeology really is the foundation of our business. Why? Residual sales, okay? When I make one sale of Shakeology, or even better, a challenge pack, get somebody on home direct, they most frequently stay on that home direct order for 4 or 5 months. And I will tell you, that's company-wide averages. If you're good and you serve your clients and you take care of people, you can extend that number. What does that mean? That means I'm making a sale once that may go 4 or 5 months on company average. If I'm good and I'm paying attention, I'm servicing my clients, 6 to 10 months could go out that long. Now, that's a pretty valuable sale to me, right? If I sell somebody one subscription to On Demand or one set of DVDs of the 21-Day Fix or whatever the program, the 22-Minute Hardcore or P90X or whatever it is, it's one sale. Shakeology, multiple when they're on home direct. So it's why it's so valuable. So you really need to build a story around either Shakeology or the performance line, or if you're really crazy, both. You have to build a story, though, that is about these programs. These programs changed my life. I just told you that entire story, how that all happened for me, everything that went on. They fundamentally changed my life. They opened up this whole new avenue of freedom for me to be athletic. What's your story? How has it happened for you? Maybe it hasn't happened yet. That's okay. Guess what? Push play, drink Shakeology. Here's the other thing about pushing play and drinking Shakeology. Aside from becoming a rabid fan and building a crazy story about our programs and our products, the other thing is that it inspires people to do the same thing. When you're doing it, other people will do it. Let me explain something fundamental about the way our business works. This happens with your customers. It happens with your coaches. It pretty much happens with everybody in your life. When you're doing something as the leader, okay, and really, that's where you should strive to get. I know, especially if you're new, you're sort of looking at yourself, I'm not a leader. Well, guess what? If you're coaching people through programs, you're a leader now. The first person that you help connect to a health and fitness solution means you're leading them. Okay, if that scares you a little bit, that's probably a good thing. That's how you know you should do more of that. Because leadership is good. It's good for other people and it's good for you. But as you start to grow into leadership, here's what happens. Your actions give other people permission to act. So let me explain that. When I push play and drink Shakeology every day, and I talk about that, right? I might be posting it publicly on Facebook, sometimes not, but if I'm in a group with a bunch of people, you bet I'm like posting a picture of that. I'm letting them know, hey, I did this thing today. That gives them permission to do the same. It gives them permission to go ahead, work out today. Sometimes people tell you it's really motivating, maybe. What it is it's giving them permission. Same thing in this business. If you make Success Club every single month, you give your coaches permission to do the same thing. You give them permission to make Success Club. Doesn't mean they're going to make Success Club. But let's think about the reverse of it. What happens when you don't drink your Shakeology every single day? You don't work out. And you don't make Success Club. And you don't advance in rank. The message that you're sending to people is that's not important. And it really robs them of the permission to go ahead and do those things. It's about leading from the front by setting an example. That's what you do when you push play and you drink Shakeology. And then you set up rule number 5, which is share your story, which I'll get into in another video. And we'll talk more about how to structure a story. I think the structure of your story is incredibly important, how that all works and how it all fits together. It's really simple too. Like I have a very, very simple format for you to follow that I've taught to literally hundreds of people on our team, maybe more, maybe thousands, and that those people have been able to use and really, really build a business just based on these 2 things. Push play, drink Shakeology, learn how to share your story. All right, I'll be back with rule number 5 another day. Have a great one. Oh, and if you haven't worked out today, now's the time.